Hey everyone, it's Dingyfried Pulp, and welcome back to another Minecraft Building Toronto episode, the 101st out on the channel. I may have made you wait a while for episode 100, but we have a quicker turnaround for our next episode, and I'm really excited about this one. For the past couple of videos, you may have noticed that I'm mentioning a new name when talking about the builders on the project. In this video, I'm excited to fully introduce our latest member of the Minecraft Building Toronto team, Dingyfried. Today, we're going to showcase Dingy's first two buildings on the project and give you some information about this amazing new builder. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button. So when a new person applies to join our Building Toronto team, they don't get immediately added to the building team, even if we think that they would be a good fit for the project. Before fully joining the team, potential builders have to do 3 test builds on our project where Star, Vaughn, and I evaluate their skills and make sure that they can build to the high standards of the project. I'm going to showcase 2 of the test builds done by Dingy, mostly because they fall outside of our building perimeter, so you wouldn't have been able to check them out in a video for a while if it wasn't for this video. But before talking about the actual buildings that Dingy built, let's first talk about Dingy. The username Dingyfried is a quote from Thomas the Tank Engine, where somebody tries, and fails, to say the word dignified. Dingy watched a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine when they were a kid, and the word stuck with them as a funny way of describing moments where they try, and dismally fail, to act dignified. Dingy is actually a civil engineer, and he's contributed to the design and construction of some of the real-world buildings that are already featured on the Building Toronto server. Dingy makes their own music for their YouTube channel, and has made intro music for a few other YouTubers as well. The biggest name among those is Nice Name. The Minecraft Building Toronto project is the first public creative server that Dingy has ever been a part of. Dingy was kind enough to send me their history with Minecraft and what inspires their building style, which I think gives us some great insights into the builder that they are on the project and in general. Dingy began playing Minecraft in 2014 when they were in the middle of their civil engineering degree. At first, they mostly played modded creative in solo worlds or on small servers with close friends. Shortly before 1.14, they swapped to vanilla survival, and they've mostly stuck with that ever since. They try to incorporate their civil engineering degree and background into adding realism to Minecraft builds, or at least more convincing and immersive structures when they're building in other styles. Whereas the modded creative Dingy usually built on free reign to build enormous structures using countless custom block textures, switching to vanilla survival forced them to shrink their build scale to save resources and start using specific shapes and textures more creatively to account for the more limited choice of blocks. As a result, Dingy is more accustomed to working in high detail, tight spaces where every individual block choice counts, whereas making large scale copy-pasted structures like skyscrapers is oddly quite new and tricky for them. Dingy tells me that not only is the Minecraft Building Toronto project helping them put together larger structures that need to not only look good from much farther away, but it is also helping them expand upon their block-specific styles, since they can now add to those strengths using creative mode features such as spawners and reinforced deep slate decoratively in the 2 test builds that they will be showcasing today. Using World Edit also allowed them to use block states that normally wouldn't be possible, like coral on leaf planters or piston head tables. Dingy also has an awesome YouTube channel where he makes some amazing content, so be sure to check out that channel for yourself and subscribe to that channel, which will be linked in the description. Hopefully we'll see some awesome Minecraft Building Toronto content out on Dingy's channel as well soon. So now that you know all about Dingy, let's talk about the 2 buildings that he built before being added to a full member of the team. Starting with his first build, the J. Frank Raw building. The J. Frank Raw building is located at the northeast corner of our building perimeter, just outside of the built-up area at 103 Church Street. The building was built in 1930 and has been designated as a historic building under the Ontario Heritage Trust. There's a blue Ontario Heritage plaque outside of the building, and it reads the following. This building, in the Art Deco style, was designed by architect Murray Brown, with his associate A.G. Elton for the J. Frank Raw Company. In 1931, Brown received an award for his work in the Commercial Buildings category of the Toronto chapter of the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada. The facade is notable for its recessed and octagonal upper floor windows, as well as for its decorative metalwork. During the Second World War, a manufacturer of glow-in-the-dark aircraft dials and watch hands occupied the 3rd floor. So, there is definitely some interesting history associated with this building, but these days it's not quite as interesting in my humble opinion. The upper floors now are occupied by Maman Sadulak LLP, an immigration firm that's been operating for 30 years. The retail space on the ground floor has recently changed hands quite a few times over the past couple of years. For some of that time, it was unoccupied or used for temporary pop-up shops. At the time of recording, the ground floor is used by Phoenix Cannabis, while the basement is being used for a construction office for the Saint Condos, a new high-rise complex currently under construction immediately next door. However, when planning this build, Dingy chose to roll the clock back to 2020. Back then, the ground floor was still occupied by Golden Thai, often referred to by some as Toronto's original Thai restaurant. Established in the 1990s, this family-run restaurant was one of the first places in Toronto to offer traditional recipes like tamarind pad Thai to the budding city's food scene. When they first opened their doors, they offered lunch for $1, hoping that residents could forgive an unfamiliar cuisine for such a low price. But the people of Toronto got behind it, and before long it was so popular that their servers struggled to get through the dense crowds. Golden Thai is credited by some as the starting point for the now successful Thai food industry in Toronto, in turn contributing to Toronto's #1 ranking as the city with the most diverse food scene in the world. Beyond that, over the decades it developed into a local community hub, becoming an integral part of the neighborhood's culture. Golden Thai unfortunately had to permanently close its doors due to the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, but here on the server its doors will remain open to any and all visitors. Now, looking at the building itself, we immediately saw how lucky the team was to have Dingy joining us on the project. The details are incredible, both inside and out, but one thing I want to specifically point out is his skills with the custom signs throughout the building. To find Dingy's second test build, we simply have to move southbound on Church until you find Market Square Condos, located at 35 Church Street. Built in 1983 by his York Developments, the Market Square Condos complex lies along Toronto's Esplanade. Dingy's second test build was to create the west half of this complex, whose 8 stories include residential towers and a trinket shop that, as far as we could tell, was a store that didn't actually have a name. It just sold gift shop type items like random clothing, jewelry. And then next door in the same complex was a sprawling restaurant called Hot House, which takes up a vast majority of the ground floor, even spilling out onto the street side with some nice patios. Underneath Hot House, this building houses a large parking lot serving private residences, as well as providing public parking for the nearby Esplanade, St. Lawrence Market, St. James Cathedral, or many of the local shops and entertainment venues, including the Loblaws and Cineplex, housed in the eastern half of this complex, which is going to be built in a later date. One notable feature of this apartment complex is the roof gardens. 1.5 out of the 8 floors of the apartments have outdoor patio spaces where residents will have balconies, herb gardens, trees, planters, and lots of other furniture on top. When we took Dingy on as a test builder, they had very little experience with World Edit, which I thought would be a good reason to give them this kind of building as an opportunity to learn some of the skills that would help them as they move along on the project. And I think that they did an amazing job adjusting to building with World Edit, and also using it to actually add more details to the build than they would be able to do with vanilla. Unlike most apartment towers in Toronto, this building sprawls out sideways rather than upwards, meaning that Dingy had to do a lot more apartment interior designing. But this actually made it much easier for Dingy to take on since they were new to creative, and many of his survival builds involved more of these intricate small-scale interiors. Even after learning some of the copy-pasting basics to help fill out the tower, Dingy still had to ensure that every tower's interior was unique in some way. All the units in the southwest corner are completely unique, while others had copied from multiple places or floors, but were always altered at least slightly, with changes in the choice of flowers, door types, walls, colors, etc. Dingy tried to create the interiors as accurately as possible. For the ground floor restaurant, he pieced together online photos and videos posted by its customers to map out its complex interior, from its greenhouse seating to its buffet islands, bandstands, and market-style kiosks. He was able to find the architectural floor plans for most of the tower's apartments and used photos from past property listings to even replicate the exact wallpaper and furnishing of a couple of units. For all the parts of the building that are not publicly accessible or don't have photos online to reference, such as underground parking or the elevator and maintenance level on the roof, Dingy used his real-world experience in civil engineering to fill in the blanks. So, after this, I hope that you are all just as excited as I am to have Dingy joining our building team. I think that his building skills alone would make him a great addition, but when you add on his real-world skills and knowledge, it makes him a key member of our team going forward as we look to build the important and historic buildings in the south end of the city. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're a returning viewer and you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and share the channel with your friends so that we can continue to grow our community. Lastly, I recently re-released the Cappy and Dingyfried Pulp Christmas merch, so be sure to check the link in the description for those while they're still available for the next few weeks. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. My name is Dingyfried Pulp, and this has been a Minecraft Building Toronto episode. Have a good one.